Tell me when we're live.
Live. Even though it doesn't say.
It says offline.
Yeah, it does. Watch it. Watch it. Just. Oh no, we are for sure. It says offline, but guarantee you are online.
Hello, everybody. I'm Hoarder Gamer, and with me is True Flash. And today we are the League of Valiants, and we are going to be interviewing a member of the League of Valiants, Emily Amarok. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
And how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well. I'm going to take a wild guess. It's probably about, let's see here, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock there?
5.
5. Okay, there we go. I figure about 6 hours difference.
Yeah.
What exciting things did you do today?
This way I'm gonna be really honest about autism here. I did nothing
Okay.
because the autistic thing to do is wait around until the thing you have planned happens.
That's
So
fair.
that's pretty much
Yes.
nothing.
Yes, I fully agree with that.
That is completely fair. So, what got you? Let's just start out. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. It's a typical, first question everyone asks. So,
Um, there's a lot of interesting things to me. Do you want it short, brief, or?
no, just give us what you want to give us.
Yeah.
Okay, so my main background before I was streaming and everything was that was a very sporting background. So when I was little, I did martial arts for quite a while. Then I transitioned into doing what you would call women's soccer, but football over here.
Uh-huh.
And then when I got to about 18, it got so serious it wasn't fun anymore. I got to the level I wanted to get at. I was like, I'm just not enjoying it anymore. So I basically took a big leap, scrapped everything I was doing, moved all the way across the country, away from my parents, everything, and just started out on my own. I was working at a restaurant. I'd never had a job before. And then I was surfing in my spare time for fun. And yeah, it was just a really eye-opening experience for me. Showed me that I could do things on my own. I was more capable than I realized. But it took taking that leap to go, okay, I don't need my parents for everything. I can be independent and things like that. But then because of COVID, I had to move back home, unfortunately. And then that's when I started streaming because I didn't have a job. And my parents were trying to encourage me to do something that I would still find fun, that maybe one day could make into a job. But regardless of if that happens, I think I'm always going to stream now. I freaking love it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. See, I feel like I had a question. Oh yeah. For me, I remember what I was gonna say. For me, I used to play a lot of sports when I was young too, and for me, what happened is I got to high school. I played baseball and soccer for like 6 years, and then when I got to high school, they threw the ball too fast, so I didn't play anymore.
I played soccer in like 4th and 5th grade, but I pretty much sucked at it. So, but I did it just for the exercise at the time.
Yeah. I think sport's important to me because it with my autism, sport was a great escape, because when I'm playing sport, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not worrying because there's so much going on in front of me that my brain wouldn't be able to do that. So I think it helped me a lot growing up with things I was struggling with or stressed about, because it just literally took my mind off it all. It was my medicine sort of thing. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I would kind of say the same too. Like it's just different. Like when you only have to when like if your mind's normally racing all day, and then when you're like doing something physical and productive and something, like it just feels like you're just thinking out what it is that you could do, and like that's literally all that's on your. I think that's probably one of the only times that like is when I'm playing sports, is that like when only one thing's on my mind outside, of like whatever else. But and so when did you get into gaming?
So when I was at school and stuff, I was always a little bit nerdy. I used to collect Lord of the Rings figures. But then when my girly friends used to come round and see them, it was a little bit embarrassing for me. And I think just through like pressures of school and things like that, I grew out of that stuff because I thought, oh, I'm a girl. It's not cool to be doing those things. Like I used to play console games with my dad, and just getting older and being with the girls, I kind of just shoved it to one side. It's only now I'm older and a grown up that I can go, actually, I don't care what people
Hmm.
think anymore. I'm still gonna like those things, and it doesn't matter. But I think as a child, it's hard. You have a lot of pressure from society and the people around you of what you shouldn't like. And I feel bad for young people today as well, because not only do they have that, they then have social media putting those pressure on them as well. Like, I don't know what I would do. It'd be too much.
Yeah, peer pressure is difficult to deal with. Definitely.
Hmm. Yeah. And so what would you say is, I mean, I see you playing Witcher a lot. Would you say that that's your favorite game, or do you have like a list of favorite games, or?
I have one standout game that I played when I was younger that you can't play on modern consoles anymore. But it was, I think it was called Lord of the Rings War in the North. It was on one of the
Ah,
older PlayStations, and you could rotate between an elf, a human, and a dwarf. And oh my god, that's still one of
Yeah.
my favorite
Hmm.
games.
I picked that back up because I forgot that I had it, and I started playing it again like 6 7 months ago, and I'm like, oh, I forgot how fun it is. That game is like a really good like RPG, like that. I know exactly what game you're talking about. That game is so much fun. That
It's
game
the
is so good.
closest that's been to the Lord of the Rings game that I dream of, where
Hmm.
you can be any character you want, and it's just like a huge world. I know you have Lord of the Rings online or whatever, but
Yeah,
I think that's a bit dated in
yeah.
in comparison now. But yeah,
Yeah, that was really fun, and I liked that because it was like it was like an elf archer, and then, or was the elf the mage? I don't remember actually.
I think the elf could be the mage. Yeah,
Yeah, and then there was the archer, and then there was the dwarf like warrior thing. Yeah, it was that game was so much fun.
I
I
think
like.
it.
It,
I
Oh,
think
go
if I
ahead.
had to
Sorry.
pick a modern game though that people can play now, I would probably say Hellblade. I don't know if Senua's Sacrifice.
oh,
That's an
That game
awesome game.
is amazing, and if you
Yes.
watch the video that's at the end that explains why they made it and what the game's about, it literally will blow your mind.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. The game, the War in the North game is kind of a looter because you do pick up like new gear and stuff when you kill enemies and stuff. So it was kind of an early looter game. Because Hero was saying, could you imagine a Lord of the Rings looter game? I was like, in a way, it kind of was. Like it was like it reminded me very much of. Now that I think about it, it reminded me like kind of like a Dragon Age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I would compare it most to.
I've
Now that
actually
I
been
think about
playing Dragon Age for the first time
it.
ever the
Ooh,
past week.
nice,
It
nice.
gets
Yeah,
very difficult when you get further in. It's a great game though.
It's a
yeah.
lot. It's a lot at once, but I think I'm getting the hang of
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Did you start with the first one?
No, I'm started with Inquisition.
Oh, thank God
Oh.
you didn't start with the second one. Like, there's cool. The combat's cool. Don't get me wrong, but there's a limiting factor. I don't want to ruin it for you until you play it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I would definitely say Inquisition and the first one are the two best.
Okay,
And
cool.
by the way, yes, Grim, we were talking about War in the North.
Yes. I
Not
Yeah.
also
to be
enjoyed the.
confused with Shadow of War and
Correct.
those
Yes.
ones.
Yeah,
Different
those
game.
are really good games too. I also like the EA Lord of the Ring games that came out. Like they did a Two
Oh
Towers and if they
yeah.
did a Return of the King. Those are pretty
Were they the
awesome.
ones who did Conquest? Who did Conquest?
That I
That
don't
game.
know, but these were
That
like
game was,
awesome hack and slash that had really good graphics for the
yeah,
time.
because Conquest was literally Star Wars Battlefront 2, but Lord of the Rings. Like it
Ah,
was legitimately that's what it was, 100%.
That's cool. So I have a rather difficult question, Emily. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You're a fan of Lothar. Oh, by the way, isn't that one of the best abbreviations? You got Lothar, you've got Lothar TT, and you've got Lothar Ratka for the three main ones. But so you're a fan of Lothar and The Witcher. Which do you like more, and why?
Oh no. um. Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna say I like Lord of the Rings more. That's a hard one for me to say. The reason being, probably because it's the first thing that actually ever made me nerdy.
Okay.
And because when I was younger, I read all the books, which is quite an achievement for like a 14-year-old. I
Yeah.
even read the Silmarillion
Oh wow. Okay.
at like age 14. But yeah, I'm currently reading the Witcher books now. I think I'm on like the fourth one in. But the writing is so much, you can dig so much deeper into the Lord of the Rings writing compared to Witcher. Like, Witcher's still good in its own right, but yeah, there's so much more hidden messages in Lord of the Rings, which is think why I'd pick that one.
And then a follow-up question to that: Triss, Yennefer, or Galadriel?
Galadriel. I'm gonna say Triss.
Excellent.
Because Galadriel is cool in her own right, but she's not my favorite Lord of the Rings character. And then when it comes to the argument of Triss or Yen, I always say Triss, more because she's just a bit more eccentric, a bit more colourful, probably a bit like me, so that's why I always sway that way.
Yeah, I thought Triss was really cool. I think they're both neat, but yeah, they both have completely different facets to them.
Yeah.
When people ask me if I like Lord of the Rings, I just say Legolas.
Yeah, Legolas is my favourite. If you said Trish Yen or Legolas, then maybe I would have said Legolas.
Is Legolas your favorite character in Lothar, or who is your
Yep,
Lord of the Rings? Okay,
Legolas.
cool.
I just like archers
You like
and elves
archers?
and Orlando Bloom for the movies. So I'm just messing around. I'm not kidding, but I'm just messing around. hmm.
Flash, it's your turn.
What other like? I think it's really cool. Like I like this. I like the stuff that you do. Like I like the Saturday. It's on Saturdays that you do like the I try Xbox Game Pass games so you don't have to. I think that that's really cool
That's
because
really
like
cool.
there's just so many games on Xbox Game Pass that like I never know what to play, and like I've seen that fish game, and so that's why I popped in the stream. I was like. Yeah, like the game is just like ridiculous. Like you're just like a little fish, and you're just like trying to get places. It's just so funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a new thing that I
Hmm.
started. That I came up with an idea to do because I just thought there's so many games on here. I will
Hmm.
no one will ever take the time to just download and try because you've got all your favorite games already. So I thought,
Uh-huh.
why don't I do it? It gives me something different to try,
Yeah.
and also then I might find a game that I like anyway. So
Hmm.
it's worth a go.
Have you just been playing the? Because I believe it's like your second or third week, right?
I did my second game yesterday, so I've done I'm Fish and I tried Hollow Knight as well because that was recommended to
Oh,
well,
me.
that's an intense game.
that is a game.
There are
Yeah,
things I love about it and things I dislike. Like I, I don't like the fact you have to purchase maps and stuff. Like there's certain things to me that make the game longer than it needs to be, if that makes sense.
yeah. There's a lot of videos of me raging because I found a baddie that wasn't quite so easy to beat. I was like,
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. That's why I can't I keep saying like if you want me to rage quit a stream faster than like I'll set a world record. I promise you. Have me play like a Souls game. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope.
Elden Ring. We gotta have Elden Ring streams then. Come on, give it to us.
yes.
No, no.
I've
Like,
actually never played Dark Souls.
yeah, my fiance's gonna buy it, and I'll probably watch him, and like, I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, and I guarantee you, there will be one Elden Ring stream only because I'm gonna see my fiance play it because he's played every Dark Souls, and he's gonna be good at it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can do this. I'm gonna get 5 minutes in. I'm gonna be like, nope,
Nope, I'm out.
My
I'm
skill
gone.
is buying those games like right when they come out, getting about 25% in, and then just shelving them. That's my skill at those games. But I can
Yeah.
get about 25% in. I can get like through 4 or 5 bosses or so. But like, yeah, there it gets you hit a wall and you're like, oh, poison marsh or something like that. Like something really nightmarish happens in game, and you're like, oh my god, no.
Listen, the only Souls like game I'm willing to play and I'm playing right now, like just like on the side, like when I'm not streaming whatever, is Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's you actually have the ability to lower difficulty on that, which is nice. But it
Yeah.
has the whole feeling of a Souls game. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order is phenomenal. And Emily, to go back to what you were saying about Game Pass, I highly recommend if you haven't played it, Nobody Saves the World. That's one of the best things I've played on Game Pass recently.
Okay, I'll add it to the list.
From the makers of Guacamelee 1 and 2, I believe. Yeah.
Oh wait, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's an ARPG, and the idea is you're constantly swapping between different physical archetypes, I guess you could say, to like level them up. And it's just this really great looking world and a fun sense of humor.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Cool.
Yeah. Just trying to think. What would you say is is do you how long have you been streaming?
Um, a year and like 4 months, I'm gonna say.
Like,
Yeah.
are you past the point where like you still find it like because I have this problem from time to time. Like and not even that. Like I hold myself to a time to start, and then I'm always late. Or like I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stream, and then I get there, and I'm like, oh, maybe not. Like, are you past that point? Or are you still like have some days where you're just like, I want to stream, but like I just don't know that I can.
Um, so my thing is that I love routine.
Oh, see, that's fair. That's what I'm
I
trying to
love
do right now.
routine. I thrive off routine. So I have my set days I stream. Sometimes I'll be a tad late, like 10 minutes, whatever, but
Hmm.
I don't beat myself up about it too much. My problem is that like if I was to have, which is quite rare at the moment because most of the time things are pretty much the same of what's going on in life because can't really do much because of
Yeah.
COVID and things. But if like something's gone wrong and I've had like a meltdown or something and I'm just feeling low, then I'll go, I think I'm going to cancel stream today. I'm not feeling mentally
Hmm.
my normal positive self.
Hmm.
People are going to want to watch me be miserable. I don't want to mask. I don't want to pretend I'm feeling okay when I'm not. That's probably the only time I will go, nah, no stream
That
today.
makes sense.
That makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna. I feel like I had something to say, but then I completely forgot. I don't know.
I can go next if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we're going to go back to The Witcher now for another challenging question. What is your favorite? The books, the games, or the Netflix series?
Hmm. Hmm. I would say the game.
Okay. The third one, or did you like the other two a lot?
I haven't played the other two because, unfortunately for me, I don't have PC gaming. I only have console, so I'm a bit limited in that sense.
I played
I
some of two myself, but like the controls were hard to get used to.
Yeah,
But I love
like
three.
a while back, I think it was like on for like gold Xbox, they gave away the first two for free, I think. Like, and because since you can like backwards compatible play them, so like I believe I have like the first two, but like I started two, I think, at one point, or maybe the first one. Knowing me, I probably started the first one, and it's definitely interesting. But yeah, for me, I just say, just like with Legolas and Lord of the Rings, Henry Cavill. Like, I haven't gotten anywhere except like an hour into the Witcher games, and I haven't even attempted to read the books. And my fiance watched the show, not me, but like Henry Cavill. So that's enough reason for me to say a Netflix show.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. We'll go with that.
I'm I'll be honest, if I get a bit hate here. I'm not a huge fan of Superman. Just not an appealing hero to me, personally. But in comparison to seeing him as Superman to The Witcher, it's incredible how good his acting is to be able to switch from two completely different people.
Yes.
It's because like he has read the books like a bajillion times and
Yeah.
like still is like constantly playing through the game. Like he just keeps playing it like over and over again. So like I because I remember when they were first announcing that Netflix was going to do something, he was immediately like me, pick me, and like he would go out and like interviews for like in during like his Superman stuff and like everything he was doing for DC or whatever he was doing, and he would always be like, yeah, like he would always find some way to be like, yeah, you know what, like I'd love to play Geralt, like I'd love to be in The Witcher, and like
Yes.
like he would just throw that out there because like he because I believe he read the books in English and in the original language like multiple times, and then he's also played through like the games like at least like 5 or 6 times, like especially like Witcher 3, like so yeah, he wanted to like dedicate like because he loves the series so much, he wanted to like he knew that he could do it justice, and he was like I will dedicate myself to this, like I will be exactly who you need me to be because I just want to be part of this.
Definitely. Hero Mentor, are you talking about the TV show Smallville? Because I did used to watch that and I did enjoy it.
Oh no, there's a new one, Superman and Lois, with
Oh, I haven't seen them.
Tyler Hoechlin from Teen Wolf as Superman, and he actually does really well. Like
He does actually.
I didn't expect like, not that I didn't expect him to be a good actor because like, but to be fair, like Teen Wolf is mm, like half the story and then it's half like everyone's just trying to be hot.
Is it kind of like
So
Vampire Diaries in a way, or
yeah, no,
okay,
yeah, in a way I would say yeah, but
okay,
yeah, I would say that that's like half the story and half people just trying to be hot. Yeah, that makes yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how Teen Wolf was, and so like I didn't really like know like the capabilities of his acting, and then like when he started playing Superman, I was like, okay, like this guy's actually good, like is really good, and then like I mean the suit is looks great on him. So anyways, um,
Flash. Do you need a cold shower or anything? No.
no, I'm good.
Flash has been like Henry Cavill, Legolas,
Yes, yes,
defining Superman suit.
Oh no.
yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's true. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
So Emily, I know that you do cosplay. What is your favorite cosplay, or what is the cosplay you'd like to do that you haven't done yet, either because it's more too complicated or too expensive to do?
My favorite cosplayer, his name on Instagram is Maul, Maul cosplay. He actually got picked by The Witcher Netflix when they did WitcherCon, to be in the starting screen of Geralt in the hot tub.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so he does an amazing like Geralt. He's done what ones he's done? Arthur Morgan from Red Dead and stuff. He's brilliant. In terms of my cosplays, I recently made a clone trooper full armor, which I'm waiting to paint.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
that's my first build that I've ever done myself with like foam and stuff. Um, so I don't know. That was probably the hardest thing I ever thought. Okay, once I get to that level, I'm gonna be proud of myself. So there's one that I do want to do, which is Eivor from Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
but the reason I haven't done it yet, I've got her blade, but nothing else, is because there's so many bits and pieces to the whole outfit. To get it like screen accurate, it's probably going to cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. So that one's on the back burner for the future.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it
So
looks like
you mentioned Clone Trooper. So then was it the nerdy timeline? Was it Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and then Witcher? Or
Oh, I don't know. I think they're things I've always liked and watched growing up because my dad's very nerdy. So I think I was quite a tomboy when I was younger. So I used to watch and do all those things with him. Um, I don't know, which is probably the most recent one because it was only because of playing the games and stuff and then Netflix releasing the series. So which is probably the newest one. Star Wars I've watched when I was little and stuff, so that probably goes with Lord of the Rings, I would say.
Cool. And real quick, just to get back to it, you mentioned you didn't like Superman. What about Batman? The kind of the hero that's like on the opposite end, but still a hero.
Yes, I like Batman. My partner's favorite is Batman, so I have to like Batman.
What
Yeah,
about
that's actually
No,
my favorite superhero, but I very much also do like Superman. But yeah,
yeah.
Batman's my fave. Yeah.
No,
what
I
about
have a thing of I don't like the cliche good guy. I'm not
Yeah,
about the
Batman's definitely not that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I would say Batman over Superman. But like it's bad because my favorite characters in Batman and stuff are the baddies. Not
Oh, but he's got one of the best rogues galleries.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, Superman and Batman actually, I got to admit, have both some of the best villains. Yeah.
yeah? And then Hero had a question: is what interested you into cosplay? And a follow up is it a form of therapy for you?
So I got into cosplay because of starting streaming. I started playing Witcher on stream, and then everyone was like, "You should cosplay Siri, Emily." So I put together like a stuff I had lying around and stuff, and did that, and I really enjoyed it. So I was like, actually, I'm gonna do more. And just over time, it was gradually like, I really love this character, I want to cosplay them. I really love this character, I want to cosplay them, sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. I don't know, like compared to what I was saying about sport earlier, being like for my autism really helped me. I wouldn't say it helps me like that, but I have a very vivid imagination, and when I get hyper focused into something, I become obsessed about it. So then making the cosplay for that character, whatever that I'm obsessed about currently, is a good release because then I'm like, okay, yeah, I can just sit here listening to my Witcher music, making my Witcher cosplay sort of thing. But then
That's
it'll be a
funny.
new character next month probably.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So do you do you do you keep up with like all the Marvel stuff going on, like all the movies and shows?
I'm definitely a Marvel fan, yeah, for sure.
That's good. That's good. What
I
has been your favorite movie or show so far? Like, what has been your favorite piece of content that they put out?
So my favorite Marvel character is not actually Spider-Gwen, it's Loki.
Oh, yeah, Loki is an
Oh,
amazing villain.
It's my favorite, and I was so happy because I went. It was the best experience ever. I got to go to my first ever Comic Con in September last year, and I got to meet Tom Hiddleston, and
oh, wow,
I just love cosplay. That was my favorite thing.
wow, that's awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, I I think the show is really good. I'm happy that there's going to be a season two. I'm trying to think like if I were to ask myself that question, what I would like. I don't know. I feel like oh, okay. What am I saying? Like it's No Way Home, hands down. I just think like that was. I think like that movie was like something that like I didn't expect. Like I knew it was going to be a Spider-Man movie, but like I didn't expect it to be so emotional. I guess, but obviously like everyone knows that like Peter's backstory is emotional, but I guess I just didn't like I don't know. There was like a level of fan service that I expected, but like it wasn't anything like that. Like I don't feel like what people were calling like fan service from the movie really like applied to like what they were providing us. Like I feel like that like it may have been fan service, but like it was truly important to the story of how it played out. That like I just think like overall like it was just such a good movie.
Can
Yeah,
can I say can I say something about it? Would it be classed as spoiler, or has it been long enough now?
It's
I think you could have spoilers now. We're in
listen
Yeah.
February.
if
Okay, good.
Hero's seen it already and he's notoriously I'm gonna wait for it to be on Disney Plus type of person, then you're fine. You're fine.
I'm waiting
I
for
mean,
local
it's
television.
probably on all over Twitter by
Oh yeah,
this
for sure.
point. The thing I'm going to talk about. Anyway, okay, I'll just say it. My favorite thing about Spider-Man: No Way Home was that Tobey Maguire was in it because my childhood Spider-Man was Tobey
Yep.
Maguire. So to me, and Green Goblin's my favorite baddie as well. So to me, that is what made that film. But I know for other people, like Andrew Garfield might be their favorite
Yeah.
Spider-Man. So I think for everyone, it was a different reason why
Hmm.
they liked it so much, sort of thing.
Yeah. I just think that like I don't know. I don't know the last, like, I see a lot of movies. I don't know the last one that like made me cry. Like it literally just made me cry. And except like I think Spider-Man was the last one. Like I didn't I d- I know I saw it all over the internet and stuff like that where they're like, you guys, they're gonna Uncle Ben Aunt May. They're gonna do it. And I'm like, no, they're not. Like Uncle Ben's already gone. Like we don't have to worry about that happening. Like stop. And then it did,
Stop.
and I was like, no, no. And like Tom Holland is such a good actor that I'm like, oh
Yes.
god dang.
And
But yeah, I'm just worried about like what's gonna go on moving forward with like not worried. I'm not worried. I know it's gonna be good, but I'm just so upset with the like the ending situation, you know? Like I'm just so upset that like I'm just like, no, like you okay, listen. I love Peter and MJ, but I'm more so like I just want to see Tom and Zendaya. Like I just want to see them together on the screen. But yeah, uh, yeah. I remember there's this thing going. There's this interview going around about them where they were like where okay I'll do this quick. I'm like this is about Emily. Anyways, so they were talking about like how like after the third movie he didn't know if he was going to do any more. He wasn't under contract, and so he like went skiing, and then he goes and like whiffs it, like biffs it, like he like because he doesn't have to be safe anymore because he's not under Marvel contract at the time before they decided to do another trilogy. And then the first thing he does, instead of like going and getting help, like his face is bleeding, whatever, right? He FaceTimes Zendaya and is like, hey, babe, look what I did. And she's like, what are you doing? Why is there blood all over your face? Like, where are you? He's like, oh no, I'm just skiing, I'm just snowboarding. Like, and she's like, what, like, why are you FaceTiming me? You need to go to and get help or something. It's like, oh no, I just wanted to show you. It's just like, wow. He's just like, look, I'm allowed to get hurt now. I just thought that was so funny.
yeah, I was impressed with how much of the Spider-Man we got because, like, I thought it was because I heard the rumors. I was like, oh, okay. Right at the very end, we get like a 5 minute sequence or something. It's
Yep.
a huge chunk of the movie and done
Hmm.
really well with multiple scenes that really show you the different personalities. So a lot of people forgot about this. Toby comes off as more earnest,
Hmm.
and and then uh, oh my God, Andrew
Andrew.
Garfield's Spider-Man is nervous and has some emotional things going on, and you see that in his character. And then Tom Holland basically comes off as like the fanboy, like, oh, this is awesome, this is great, I love this, and this is so cool. So you have these three slightly different personalities of Spider-Man, which is awesome.
Hmm.
One thing I'll say about Tom Holland though is have you seen he's been cast for the new Uncharted movie?
Yeah, it comes out
Yes.
next week.
So
No, the week after.
I think he's a really good actor, but as a fan of the Uncharted games, which has a good place in my heart because I used to play them with my dad, it upsets me that they pick someone so young, and I feel like is it Sully's the older guy in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sully, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's the right age to be playing the main character Drake. Yeah, just the age
Well,
thing
no,
bugging me a
that's
little bit.
to be fair. They didn't want to like have Nathan Drake the age he is in like the video games because like I believe it was because like they didn't want to try to make the movie like a one-to-one like video game type of thing because then like in the end obviously it would be like a letdown to a lot of people, you know. And so what they were trying to do is they I believe that they were working with the people who made the Uncharted games. What they were trying to do is they were trying to create a new story for him about how he met Sully, I
Yeah,
believe.
because it feels very like because in the games it's Drake that kind of leads Sully. It's like, come on, let's go do this sort of thing. Whereas
Hmm.
in the from what the trailer shows, it seems like it's more Sully going, "Come on, Drake, let's do this."
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, it's definitely meant to be a prequel to the games because of the age. So, I've like I think a few months ago I started the games. Like I'm still on the first one, and I'm like, this game is incredibly difficult.
Yeah, the first one's actually kind of frustrating. One thing I'll say about that super quick is that it was like enemies were psychic at times. Like you'd come
Mm,
over a cliff and land, a shotgun would be going off in your face. Like it felt like things weren't balanced as well. I would recommend playing that on easy, believe it or not, by
mm.
far, because it just doesn't seem fair at times with that one. Two is
Yeah, I
so
died
much
so many
better,
times.
and my favorites are 2 and 4, but 2, 3, and 4 are far better than one.
That makes sense. Yeah, I just have to get through one at this point. I think I'm, yeah, because like once you get to like the boat sequence and stuff like that,
That
where
is so
you're like,
frustrating.
I died so many times.
Don't feel bad. It really the control on that is rough. Like I was streaming it and just losing my mind, and I think it was some expletives came out and stuff. It was not fun.
Yeah. So do you? I know you said that like you have like a routine and stuff. Uh, do you like? Is it? I mean, this is kind of like a loaded question.
Go for
But
it.
I guess like, do you ever like? Because I know how it is with like a routine, and like once you get in like a routine, like if there's a disruption, it feels like your entire day is like. Do you have like? I guess like con- difficulties still like a lot of the days, or like with your routine for the most part, like you feel like you're in a like good place like mentally right now.
So yeah, at the moment, because I'm just stuck at home at my parents'
Hmm.
place, my main routine consists of streaming, doing my cosplay crafting, and hanging out with my partner when he gets home from work, sort of thing. But I know that coming up this year, we're meant to be moving back to Devon. And I know that comes with that is going to be a lot of stress because a
Hmm.
lot's going to be changing. So yeah, at the moment it's good. I have a little book that I write down what I'm doing for the day. That's my routine, my plan. But unfortunately, you can't go through life without have
Yeah,
you got to change at some point. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's yeah. I can. I mean, at least where you are, there's still like having people in lockdown. It's basically like everywhere else except the U.S. Ah,
I mean, we're not on lockdown. Like you can
mhm,
still go out and do things, but if you're gonna be sensible about it, like I haven't had my booster yet. I'm meant to be getting that in a week or two.
mhm.
So until I do that, I'm not gonna be going out clubbing or
That's
anything.
fair.
Sure, sure.
That's fair. Yeah, that one's the one that really takes you down. I actually, when I got my booster, I lost my voice for like 2 days. I don't know why, but yeah, it was that one's the rough one. What was I gonna say? And then so on kind of the same note, what do you see like? What is I guess your day like if there's like a daily struggle that you have, what would that be?
I wouldn't say I. This sounds really bad. Say, my life's pretty chill at the moment.
I
I,
mean, hey, like that's for the most part, like that's a good thing. Like
yeah,
for anyone who's dealing with like any type of, mental health issues or anything like that, if you can get in a place where you're literally like, stuff is chill right now, like that's fantastic. I mean, that's
it's good and bad. I would say,
mhm.
or I mean, for me anyway, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
It's good because I'm happy. I ain't got anything to worry about. It's also bad though because when it comes to the time where I do need to start doing more things, it's going to be a lot of change at once. That's
Hmm.
the only thing I'll say. That's where the struggle will come.
Yeah. Yeah, change is difficult. Like, yeah. A lot there's just like a lot of stuff that's difficult sometimes, but no, that I mean that makes sense. Do you have like so you were saying you when did you learn that you had autism?
So when I was about 17, I think it was. So already in my family, the way it came about was that my auntie gave birth to my cousin, and when he was about 1, 2, she noticed that he wasn't really speaking or anything or making eye contact. So she booked an appointment, got him diagnosed. He was diagnosed pretty quick, which is means he's quite high on the spectrum, sort of thing. But because of that, my whole family then had to read up on autism and what is autism and stuff, so that we could help support my cousin as he gets older and things like that. But through that and through my mum reading about autism, she read a lot of things, and in her head they kind of clicked, especially for my brother, who's a little bit older than me, who also lives here too. um she was the first one who she kind of thought, okay, I think you might be autistic, to my brother. And she talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, you're definitely right, because he struggled with a lot of things as a teenager. But for me, it was a bit different because I'm a girl. Autism is not as easy to tell in girls, and I'm quite smart because of my autism, so I'm quite good at masking and not showing those things. But when I was 17, I got into my first relationship, and that's where a lot of the cracks started to show,
Hmm.
because I was relying on another person for things. I was relying on them to keep to the same routines as me, and it just wasn't working. So I spoke to a counselor. I was like, I don't understand why I'm struggling with all these things. Bearing in mind, this counselor had spoken to my brother and my mum and everything. And he went, I think you do know why you're struggling with these things, Emily. And I was like, is it because I might be autistic? And he was like, yep. So yeah, it was a bit of self discovery as well. Um, but finding out I was autistic wasn't a great help at first. I still struggled with a lot of things. When I went to uni, I struggled a lot. Um, it's only since I went away on my own that I learned the most about myself. And I'm very lucky that my partner now is very supportive and understanding. But I think the best lesson that I learned is that being autistic is okay, and it's good to have people that understand you for you, but nobody can take it away from you. All they can do is understand. That's literally
Yeah,
it. That's the best thing that anyone can do.
Yeah.
that's completely fair. Yeah, I feel like that's the only thing that like you can ask for in like especially like a partner and stuff like that, is that like they're understanding and they'll like tell you, like from my main thing is like if there's a like problem that there is between us, or there's like an issue that you have, like my thing is I'm a little bit of backstory about me. I'm I've known I had ADHD for like 5 or 6 years now, but I'm recently coming to terms with the fact that like I might also be autistic. Like I was doing a lot of research, and my friend is actually going to school for like mental health stuff as well, and she's like, I know this doesn't like really this doesn't like qualify. This isn't like, you know this isn't the like 100% gonna tell you if that's the case, but she like linked me to like a lot of stuff that like because her class and her school was going to, because I believe she's going for like she's already gone to school for like 4 or wait, how old are we, 20, no, maybe she's gone to school for like 6 years, so she's definitely like far along in the psychology process. And she's like, like this is like just like the benchmark test for it, and like here's some resources, here's where you can go. She's like, you should take this. And then like it was basically showing it, like there was something there was something in my mind like where it like clicked. Like there was a moment where I was reading about like, so I have a, an insane difficulty with like being able to understand tone from people, like, and as well as control my own, because like I can be like going off like to where it seems like my tone is abrasive or like mad, but I literally am like, no, 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 like that's not how I mean it, like, because and it's very difficult for me to like gauge other people's emotions sometimes. And so like I think like that's like the main stuff that align with me a lot. It's a lot of like, to a degree, like I can understand myself, but like it's a lot of like like what's coming at me from other people, like information, talking, whatever the case is, that I just like can't correctly process or like understand. Like if I say something a certain way, then like they're gonna take it a certain way, even like though like I my my voice comes off as if I'm like being abrasive, but I don't mean it that way. Just because like I can't understand tone, so I have a very difficult time controlling my own. And so off of that, where was this going? Listen.
About tone.
Yes. No, but like before that, like see, this is
You were saying that with your ADHD, that your friend said that you might have autism as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like this is going. Oh yeah, no, 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 no. Okay, so yes, I remember where this was going. For me personally, like if I'm doing something, like I have a difficult time recognizing when I'm doing something uh, that comes off the way that it's not intended. So like if I'm coming off rude or I'm coming off a certain type of way, I always say like just tell me, because it'll like it'll click. Like if you tell me that when I talk this way or when I say this or when I do this that it comes off a different way than it's intended, I need you to tell me so that I can fix it. Because
Yeah.
my difficulty is that since I'm so like unaware of how I'm getting better for sure, but like because I'm so unaware of like how it comes off, that it's difficult for me to know. And then not only am I unaware of how I come off, but then I'm unaware of how they're reacting to it, just because I can't read emotion very well. That like I need you to tell me like when something that I did or I said made you feel a certain way, and like so that I can try so it can try to click. Because once it clicks, then I'm like, okay, so this is when I need to like lower my tone, or like I need to like, you know, understand like to use different words to explain something. Because it's just like the first thing that comes to my mind sometimes I'll just say, but like those aren't the right words to say it. And like like it's all very difficult. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm trying, unfortunately the healthcare system here is just terrible to say the
Yeah.
least. So I'm only able to base it off of like what my friend who's going to school is and like the tests I took online. But like I'm trying to get something to where like I can go in and be like, hey, like can I get tested for this like actually? And so like that's kind of where I am. Like there's like yeah, there's like for me it's just like a lot of social stuff like I just don't understand. And I never understood like why some people would like I don't know. Like it's a lot. Like it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Do you
So
know how long the waiting time here is? So I'm not officially diagnosed, neither is my
mhm.
brother, because one, I don't feel like I need to be diagnosed. Like I know
Yeah,
myself. If
yeah.
like when I said to my partner when we move, I said if I'm struggling with work and it's becoming too much, then I might think about getting diagnosed, because then I might need funding or
Yeah.
whatever, that sort of help. But until that comes up, like I'm cool. But if I wanted to get diagnosed, it's going to cost me. I think it's about 2 grand, and it's going to take up to a year. So it's not too different to where you
Oh
guys are
wow.
either. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was not diagnosed myself, but I was told that when I was a kid, one of the terms that was used by doctors and stuff was little professor. And that was
Mm.
a term that they used for people on the spectrum. I'm older. I'm 45. So
Oh, okay.
basically, they weren't as keen on saying like it's that. They would look at other things, and I have actually been diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
Hmm.
But like, there's certain things, issues I have with some like facial cues. I have that, and then like also I just kind of like focus on things to an extreme degree,
Hmm.
and if I get upset about something, I just shut down.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
have like a conversation or anything. I become quiet and I just shut down and internalize things.
I
Mm.
So
say it as I want to crawl into a hole and never come out again.
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. I have like I have such I think like the main thing that's most difficult for me is like, and it probably has to do with both ADHD and potentially being autistic, is that like I have to like know like, hey, like when do we plan on doing something? Like when are we doing, like when are we doing whatever, right? And like if I have something in my mind like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to play, like let's say tomorrow I'm going to play The Witcher, right? And then I never get around to playing it, in my mind, I'm just like, the day was terrible. Or like if I am like, okay, you know, I want to do this and this, and if I don't do it, like I just feel like that's those are the moments when I shut down. And like for me, like switching from one task to another is very difficult. Like if like my partner is just randomly like, you know, I'm in the middle of playing a game or watching a YouTube video, whatever the case is, and my partner's like, hey, like, do you want to go to the mall, like, or something? Like, do you want to go do something, whatever the case may be? I have like, and he's been so understanding up to this point, but like, I have to take at least the next like 20 to 30 minutes to like continue doing what I'm doing, but my brain will start to like process like, okay, like, you know, like use the end of the video as a stopping point,
Hmm.
and then you can transition to the other thing.
Yeah.
Because like
Like a
if
cool down in a workout.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure, like that's probably the thing that I have the most difficulty with, like is like if it's that very much. So it's like, oh yeah, do you want to play like this game, or like hey, do you want to play this game with me? I'm like, yes, you know, I do, but like give me like 30 minutes to get there, because if I just go from like doing one thing like immediately to something else without like giving myself time to like, it's basically like unfocusing and then refocusing, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's a little bit like longer than that, because it's like, because like I have to like get there to where the thought of doing this is exciting, if that makes sense. So like if it wasn't something I planned on doing, I have to like disconnect from what I'm doing, like maybe even start watching a video of like that game, or whatever it is, like Valorant, League of Legends, whatever it is, like start watching one of those videos, and then slowly my brain's going to start processing it like, oh, okay, this video is cool, okay, I want to play it, okay, like there. And so I feel like that is like the most difficult thing for me, is that, like that's just like, I don't exactly know what that is, but it's very like, that's the thing I struggle with most, because then like if I do it too quickly, I'll start to like get snippy when I don't mean to, but
Hmm.
it's just because like my, I guess my brain wasn't ready for it, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, like that's probably the most difficult thing that I have, outside of like just not understanding like if my partner is like upset about something, or like mad at me, or like whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's just so interesting to me, like seeing like neurotypical people like be able to like process things normally. Like
Yeah.
I'm
it's
the opposite in just a little bit of a way.
Mhm.
Rather than thinking that my partner's always wait, what was it you said? You feel like your partner's always annoyed at you? Is that it?
uh
Or you don't register when they're annoyed at you?
yes, correct.
Yeah. So I'm the opposite. I think my partner's always upset with me, and I've always done something wrong. I'm like, have I done something wrong?
Okay,
He's like, you're
yeah.
fine. What are you on about? I'm like,
That,
okay.
I have both ends of that. I have both ends of that. Like if I feel like I'm trying to be more aware of like my tone and stuff. And so like if I feel like my tone or something was off, but he didn't say anything, but for some reason I recognize it, then like I'll think that he got upset at me, just because like I'm like, I recognized it, but me recognizing it and then like him like processing it the same way I did, it's never ends up being the same. And so like if when normally like when I feel like I did something wrong, and he's just like, no, like I don't know what you would have thought, I was like, oh, okay. Like yeah, I have that makes sense too. Yeah,
I
it's
think
all
maybe
just
that's like us trying to make up for the fact that we know sometimes we can do things wrong or come across badly. So then we go the opposite at the end of the thing, and then we think everything we've done is wrong, and we're
mm-hmm.
trying to be aware of it all.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would say that true too as well. Um okay, so Okay, so sorry, I was kind of rambling there, but anyways,
You're all good.
okay, so we always do this with every guest. So it's what was your like unsinkable moment this week? That like the one where like you felt like accomplishment, like getting over something, or you had a difficulty time dealing with something. Like, what would you say is like your like win for the week, or like just something that was difficult for you to I guess process in general?
I would probably say I'd probably say like just in general at the moment, the thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around is moving this year sort of thing. And trying to put things in place that will make it okay. Um but in terms of this week, me and my partner have been a bit stressed about money because, luckily for me, my partner does a job where he gets paid plenty, and he says to me, "You don't need to stress at the moment until we move about getting a
Mhm.
job. I know you're happy doing what you're doing," which I super duper appreciate. But then sometimes when like we're tight for money or whatever, it becomes stressful in my brain because I've got everything pre-planned of what money's going where because I'm so organized. Um, but I have to tell myself, like, next week might be better, or next month might be better. Like, stop worrying so much about the future. Just like live in the now, sort of thing. So yeah.
Uh,
And then, so like for me, I feel like my most difficult thing this week is that like, so for like the last like year or two, I've been like in like this like semi-competitive league for like League of Legends. It's just like a bunch of people who like got together and made like a tournament bracket, whatever. Like it's just like a super fun thing where like you make a team and like you just compete. Like I said, semi competitive, like semi professional, whatever you want to call it. And like basically up to this point, I think we played like 5 weeks of games, and like our team has been undefeated up to this point, and like everything was going well, and then just randomly, like on Tuesday, they were just like, yeah, I think was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I'm not sure. They were just like, um, we decided to go a different route with this team, and like like we don't we're like we're basically like kicking you off the team and doing it like and getting someone else, and like that is, I feel like for me like one of the most difficult things to deal with is rejection, because like I try to do so well with like if I do something wrong, like I said before, like if I do something wrong, like I want to know what it is so that I can try to fix it. Like if there was a problem between like the way I communicated in game, the way that like I played, like the way that like like stuff like went down, like like if there like if the reason why you did this was because you had a problem with me, I would like to know what that problem is so that I don't continue to do that in the case that like I get picked up for another team or whatever the case may be. But it's just when 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 I'm unable to get that answer from anyone, um, except like this like PR, like I hope you do well, like we've chosen to go a different route with this team. After talking to the team, we decided to go a different way with it, like a PR message, right? Like just trying to like cover bases, whatever the case. Like, and then when I ask like was there a specific reason why, then I just get ignored. Like I have a really difficult time, uh which is why I had to take a couple like I had to take like a mental health day this week, just because like I have such a hard time understanding that like if this was something that I did wrong, like if like we're undefeated at this point, like we're one of maybe two or maybe the only team undefeated in this league at this point. So to my knowledge, because no one brought anything up with me at all, was that like we're doing great. I mean, we haven't lost. So if there is a problem with me, then like I would like to know, like it is. And so I had to take a mental health day the next day just because like there's just like a rabbit hole you fall down where you're just like, wait, did I do this wrong? Did I do this wrong? Did I do this wrong? Like, what did I do wrong? And then when you're being ignored, it's just like we're doing so well. So like what is it? Like and so I feel like that was the most difficult thing to get through. But then like I was able to like talk to some people and it's just like in the end I kind of I in the end like I was able to do like a little digging and kind of figure it out what ended up kind of happening and like and even if like that's the thing is like even if you just tell me the real reason like listen like my partner so in League of Legends there's like roles there's like three solo roles in a sense. One of them kind of roams around the map and then there's one role or one lane because there's three lanes. There's one lane where it's two people in there, right? When my partner and I play in this league, we play those roles where we're in the lane together. So like I completely understand like if you want your partner to be like if the person who was in the lane with me on my team, if they want their partner who's also in the league to like be on the team instead of me, like that's fine. Like I would legitimately do the same thing with my fiance. Like I literally was captain one season so that I could have him on the same team as me so that we would be in the same lane together. Like if that's the reason why, then like you can tell me that too. Like that's the thing is it's just like I would rather you just tell me like hey like your support would rather have their fiance or their baby daddy, I don't know exactly what their relationship may be, would rather have like them on the team because they play together more. And you know that's perfectly fine, but in the same note I tried messaging you asking you if you wanted to play multiple times but you never replied to me. So there's like many different layers to this, but it's just like legitimately like I was just having a hard time where it felt like they couldn't tell me the truth because like why like if that's the reason why, which like that's who's on the team now, then like I said like that's 100% understandable. 100% like I said I would literally do the same. I literally was captain just so I could do exactly that. But like just tell me because you don't like obviously I'm not just going to go on this giant rant to them, but like you don't understand what like ignoring me and not responding to me and not telling me why like what it does like I'm asking you just like tell me like literally like I don't know. It's just so difficult where it's just like you're asking for honesty and like the honesty will just like be fine. Like I understand it's not on them to like make me feel better because we're just teammates, whatever the case may be. But in the same like courtesy, like we're all adults, like just hit me with the truth because I would rather have the truth than be sitting here having to take a few days off work because I'm going down this mental spiral of thinking that I've been doing something wrong this entire time and no one's been telling me.
I think it's like a thing where sometimes people misconceive as well with autism and things like that, that just because we don't always communicate how we feel well and whatever doesn't mean that we don't actually rely on other people to communicate well with us
Mm-hmm.
and give us that honesty and stuff to help us move forward with things. Like just because
Mm-hmm.
we don't necessarily communicate well doesn't mean that we don't thrive off being communicated well with back, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you were definitely owed that honesty, but at the same time, it's a thing that we struggle with, and I definitely struggle with. Sometimes I want people to act in a certain way because I believe it's the right thing and it's what I would do, but I have to be reminded that I can't change what other people do. And that it sucks. It really sucks,
Yeah.
but you have to find your own way to move forward because we live in a world where no one's gonna do what we want them to do,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
That's true, but like it's just unfortunate because like I kind of considered the captain my friend and like I said like I'm like you can literally just tell me that like they want their partner in the lane with them and they want to be on the same team, which is fine. Like that's the thing is it's like I've just I very politely asked like may I know why, like at the least like I feel like maybe deserve an answer. Like I understand that like you don't need a reason to like drop anyone if you're not meshing well, but like just tell me we're not meshing well. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. Like I understand how abrasive I can come off. Like you're not gonna be telling me anything that other people haven't told me before.
Yeah.
But like I know I completely understand where you're coming from, which is what my partner helped me like accept is that it's just like it like if they're unwilling to communicate with you when you guys have been doing so well together as a team, then like that's not even a team you want to be on.
Yep.
Like it like
Their
if
loss.
exactly like they're like you guys were an undefeated team because the five pieces made a whole, and that's the reason why you guys kept winning. Like when one piece in the five pieces become disrupted, then like you know who's to say that they're still going to continue to go undefeated? I don't wish that on them, but that's the thing is it's like who knows at this point, but like it's just like switching teammates is a very very risky choice when you have to rely on each of the five people individually. So it's like and he was like he wasn't trying to like badmouth them in any way or like hope they lose type of situation, but he was just like like this is like this is how it's laid out, like you know like that's the choice that they made. Like if they can't give you an answer, then that's another team will pick you up. Like you're like because we were doing so well on a team and we have like a stats page, like I'm like 12th in highest in the stats and there's like 70 people who play, so there's no doubt that like someone will see my stats and be like like that's and might pick me up, but like and so it's just having him there because the days that like I felt like I had to take off, he wasn't like he was working, so it was just like me trying to rationalize it myself. And then when he was able to come home and like help me process through it, then he was like, you know what, like whatever to them, like it's their loss, like like you guys are undefeated because I mean in part because of you, so they decided to change, that's fine on them, but like they can't expect the same result with a different piece. And I'm
I
like, that's
think
that's fair.
I think Hiramenta's right, and you should start your own clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And then what about you?
Turn it into a positive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I yeah, that's what I've done at this point. Like it's just like it just like I said, it's just for like I think it was like 2 days there. It was just really rough because like I've been playing that game for 10 years. No, yeah, 10 years now. Because I didn't start playing until I graduated high school. So it's yeah, 10. I've been playing the game for 10 years now, and it's like I like I'm not necessarily saying I'm good because I play it off and on, but like I know how the game is supposed to work in a sense, and so it's just like oh like like just like I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I just keep going in circles at this point. Uh,
Give it time. Give it time.
yeah, but like that's yeah, like thankfully like those couple days that I was able to take off, like it helped me understand that like what, like it's not my fault. Like the thing about it is like if they're not choosing to give me an honest answer, then like it's nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me because I feel like most people, like if they have a problem with you, most people would say it, would tell you that there's a problem with you. But like if they're not, if they're just like ignoring me and not giving me an answer, then it's literally just like like they maybe thought that this was the better choice, but like it has nothing to do with me. And so that's the difficult part to get over with, is because when you're part of a 5-person team and something like that happens, it's very difficult to feel like it's not your fault as to why you're getting kicked off the team. It's very difficult to not think that when there's only 5 of you, and like each piece is, like I said, it's very important to the overall how the team plays together. So that was the thing. It was just it was getting over it. Like it was just understanding that like it's not my fault. Like they're they've chosen to do this, and like they made the choice, and like if they're not giving you an answer, then like like then there's no reason to just continue to dwell on it because like they're not gonna tell me.
No.
But like I said, I ended up figuring out like that was kind of the reason why. But it's just like, but that's just the thing. Like okay, then like like I'm literally in the exact same position where I would do the exact same thing. So just like tell me that, But yeah. Anyways, what about you, Hoarder?
So just basically social media. It can always be like kind of challenging to deal with social media. And so like there's someone said something really ignorant and terrible, and I always have to like before I like bring out both barrels and go at this person, I have to be like, okay, where are they coming from? Is there any rationale for this? Anything like that? And just to remind myself too, if there is no rationale and this person's just a bad person, basically, I'm probably not going to change her mind. I'm possibly going to get my account suspended on Twitter. There's these things, and then like solidarity is important. So then I have to weigh that too. The people they went at were people I like a lot, and I had to be like, it's worth to risk them possibly doing something to me on Twitter. It made sense to do that in this case. So yeah, I mean, but the big thing to know is that all the anonymity and all that, you could be going at somebody, you could be like trying to tear them apart, and it's just a big joke to them. And more importantly, you're not going to change people's minds. There are people you can tell that you could have a conversation with, and people that you cannot. And it's important to know that to save your mental health.
At your own time.
Yeah.
I've definitely had that on social media with things like so I on the side of all my nerdy stuff and everything, I actually do protesting for climate activism and about climate change and things like that. Um and there's definitely people that deny about climate change and things like that, but
Yeah.
in no way do I'm so tempted, but there's just no point engaging with them because I'm not going to change what they believe. I don't want to force them to believe something they don't. Um, so yeah, you do have to take a step back.
Yeah, definitely. And then I did have one final question, Emily. So, Emily Amarok, and I was like, that's a very interesting last name, and then found out that it's not your actual last name. So I did what I thought was somewhat clever, but really also maybe a bit lazy. I was like, Siri, what does Amarok mean? Or Hey Siri, what does Amarok mean? And I might get this completely wrong. It mentioned an Inuit legend of a wolf that would like kill hunters at night. Does that make any sense?
Close, very close.
Okay.
So in Inuit it means specifically white wolf. I'm guessing
Oh.
the legend of what you're talking about. But the reason it came about was because my brother was a streamer before I was. And his community were like, Emily, you should stream too. Because sometimes when you go to the toilet, I jump on and start playing. Um, but I was like, what would I call myself? And then one of his community members suggested Amrock, and I was like, oh, what does that mean? And they explained that it means white wolf, which was very fitting because my name is Emily White anyway. So technically,
Oh
it
yeah.
still means
Oh,
Emily White, just with
Yeah.
wolf at the end. But
mm,
yeah, I
That's
like it.
awesome.
that is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's very cool. Do we
Yeah.
have any other questions for Emily Flash?
Um, let me think. Let me think. So, what is your outside of streaming and like cosplaying? What other fit fun stuff do you do? Like, what is your other like favorite thing to do?
I definitely do a lot of reading.
Hmm.
Definitely, I've started to get into like collecting comic books, which
Hmm.
an expensive hobby to have.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if
um,
anyone would know, that's harder.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just it ranges all the time. Like I know when I move back to Devon, I'm gonna get full back into my surfing. I do skateboarding,
Ooh.
like longboarding as well.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
But where I am now, I can't do that, so that hobby's on hold. But I know when I move back, I'll get full back into it again.
That's pretty
I
cool.
kind of feel like sometimes I'm a bit of a chameleon, and I blend in with the different hobbies I have.
That's funny.
But that's why I feel like cosplay is good for me because I could blend to the different characters.
Do you have a package at your local comic shop, or do you go weekly? How do you do that?
I don't even have like a comic book official comic book shop near me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm kind of lucky. There's like two or three within like 15, 20 minutes for me. So I know there's some people that have to go like an hour or two away.
Yeah, so the best ones in London, there's a shop called Forbidden Planet in
Yes,
London.
yes, I've heard of them. They have a lot of advertising. They're also at most of the conventions.
Yeah, so they're
Yes.
really good. And I went there for the first time last year, and it blew my little mind.
Yeah, they're insane, and they get some of the biggest names. Like they've had actors that have played the Doctor on Doctor Who have actually been at their booth. I believe they had John Barrowman, I think, 1 year at their booth. But yeah, they're awesome. That's a great place.
Yeah, that's the best I can get for comics. Just have to
Excellent.
travel a long way.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of brings us to the end of our interview. And
Yeah.
Emily, thank you very much for joining us today. You've been awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
It's very interesting to hear your perspective of things, especially as someone who, like, I think you may be like our. No. Vanquish is also from England. I was like, you may be one of
Ah.
our. You're one of our few European people. So, you know, it's interesting to see like how other people operate, I guess. So.
And sorry about Boris Johnson.
She's like, no.
Don't even get me started.
I think that'd be a great way to end it.
The
Okay,
walking
so
meme, I call him.
yeah, and I do believe that we will be rating Johnny Rocker.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic. Very cool.
yeah, I think that he's like a super cool dude, and like what he said that he was doing in like the like Avengers Discord and stuff, I think is super awesome. So like,
That
yeah,
is. And then also a big into toy collecting, as you might see. I'm kind of am.
no, I never would have guessed. Listen, if I had my own place, like I have almost every single My Hero Academia pop that they've
Oh,
released.
really? Okay.
Almost. Just because like since I moved back in with my parents, like I don't have room to put them, but I have at least like 30 something.
Wow.
But and then yeah, that's what like I was collecting, and then my fiance was collecting like Pokemon for like a few years, like every
Hmm.
like 2 or 3 months was releasing like a Eevee evolution, and so he collected every single one of the Eevee evolution like little figures. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's definitely an expensive especially when like something is like, hey, like this is only going to be released for a limited time and that's all you can get. So, but yeah, anyways,
Yes.
we are rating. So, yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
I'll make sure I drop them a follow.
Yeah.
You know so many people that I don't. I need to get more active in other communities.
Yeah. It's difficult like keeping up with a lot of stuff. Like I try to be active in like I since I had nothing to do last night, I saw that like Sean went live, and so I was in Sean's chat just because like I still want to like keep that relationship up that we had since he was our first guest, and like it's a lot to like keep up with a lot of people,
Hmm.
but like yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hmm. Oh
You're like, let's go.
yeah, because it never said live. Are you the same? Do you have like the same provider as like High Ruler? He talks about it all the time.